Oh, yes, okay. I think we are live. Well, hey, um, I'll say good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for stumbling your way over here to the Raging Deacon Workshop. I am experimenting with doing a live stream tonight. Um, Before we get into what's going on, if you notice that the level of jank on this stream is pretty high, it's just because about an hour ago, I'm not going to try to do this, and we'll see what happens. And so, yeah, we're going to be flying by the seat of our pants a little bit. Here, I've got one camera on the laptop and then another one webcam down here that will point at the workbench. And so, hopefully, between the two, we'll be able to see what's going on. All right, so first of all, hey, welcome to the Raging Deacon Workshop. My name is Jeff. Good to see you. Hey, for those of you who are returning, listen, I think somebody left their hammers over in the corner and they need to come pick them up, okay? Because we got to get a little room in here. For those who are new, thanks for coming. Good to see you. I think we do have a spot over here for you that if you need to leave some of your tools, that's fine, but not for too long. Um, Let me switch cameras and let me tell you about what we are going to be trying tonight, okay? So let's just quickly switch over, do a little transition. Transition. Okay. So for those of you who have been watching on Instagram and everything, I've been working on a simplex vise lately. I've been calling it my dishwasher vise because in the beginning when I got it, this thing was absolutely just disgustingly covered in grease, and so we ran it through the dishwasher to. Um, I degreased it by hand for a little bit, but man, this thing was really, really greasy. I mean, just like oozing grease. So we ran it through all through the dishwasher, got the grease off, and then I just decided to stick with the theme. And as we said, the dishwasher was my collaborator, and it helped me paint all my parts to the device. So tonight we've got all of our pieces and parts ready for assembly. We've got our movable jaw here. We've got our vice body, and we've got our base mounted on our board here as well. We'll do a little work on that as well. And then we also got the pieces and parts we're going to attach to it. So I don't think it's going to be too long. I'm not going to do anything too fancy assembly. Um, and we'll just see how it goes. So first things first is we're gonna work on the base here. We're gonna put a finish on it. I think we're just gonna do some simple paste wax and go from there, and then we'll just start assembling and everything. So I'm gonna go over, grab some tools and some of the wax, and then we'll get started. So let me, I guess, go to the wide angle camera here. Also, folks, I don't know if I'm not expecting anyone actually to show up live to this, but if you do, well, first of all, thanks for joining us live. I do have a chat window up there, but I'll probably be so focused on what's here, I may miss the chat. If I see it, I'll make sure to say hi to you and everything. All right, I'm gonna go get some tools and we'll get things started here. We need a hex wrenches. Where are those at? Down here, I think. There we go. Don't remember if we need metric or not. Set both of those out. I'm gonna go get my paste wax. That's off camera. That's over here by the poor man's paint oven. Let's see. There's natural. We'll bring over. Actually, we're gonna do 3 different types of paste wax. We'll talk about that in a second. Once we get there, let's get some paper towels. Need a few paper towels. Okay. We'll stick the paste wax, paper towels back here for right now. That'll be good. All right. And then let us see. Okay, first things first. I think we will. I'm gonna get my chair. Sit down on that so the back doesn't get tired. Very good. What else? I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, I'll need a cloth to do some polishing. Do I have a cloth somewhere? Let's see. Maybe it's over here. Sorry, folks. Walking off camera again. Get a little cloth that I can polish with, maybe. Yeah, there we go. A little cotton cloth. Okay, we are back. So, all right. So let's switch back over to our close-up cam. Okay, there we are. Let's get things disassembled here. Well, no one's on, but I'm going to just keep talking anyways. I hope if you're watching, you're having a good evening or whatever time it is. Hope you're having a good day. It was a good day at work for me as well. It's always fun to get in the shop, though, in the evening. It's a beautiful day here in Ohio, nice and cool. Low humidity, so it's good. I've got the garage door open. I will offer that it being such a beautiful night and that it's a Friday and the garage doors are open, that there's probably going to be some noise, so some ATVs and stuff might drive by, golf carts or whatever. Heck, my family doesn't even know that I'm streaming right now, so they may even come downstairs and tell me something. So I may have to let them know that we're streaming. So I may, who knows, mute the audio and everything real quick when that happens. All right, we got that off. Let's look at that. That's looking pretty good. Piece of mahogany that I bought from one of my local antique shops. I bought a big board of mahogany, so I cut that out of there. And then I cut it out on the, you know what? I cut it out on my bandsaw. I cut it out on the bandsaw, and then I used my lathe to um to put the bevel on the edges, and you could have done that with a router and everything too. In fact, you can see where the lathe mount for the lathe was right there. Don't worry, the base of the vise is going to cover that up and everything. And then we just we planed it down a little bit. We used a little hand plane to plane it down, get it nice and smooth on top or flat. Same with the bottom, and then we just sanded it. You know what? I think I'm going to use a little mineral spirits and wipe it down with some mineral spirits real quick again. I have my mineral spirits in one of these plunger cans. Maybe easier like that. You know what I love about it? You just plunge it like that. Just gets the towel wet like that. So much better than pouring it out of your can and onto a cloth. Just gonna wipe that down. It's been sitting in the garage. I've been doing a lot of other things. So we'll clean some of the dirt off, the gunk off. It'll also condition the wood a little bit. Get on there. Man, I sure hope I'm not going to do anything that takes like an incredible amount of time to dry. Well, I'll try to work through those periods if we have them. Oh, this is soaking it up fast, so good that we did that. Okay. Let that soak in for a little bit. And while it's doing that, let me tell you about the plant. So I've actually done all of the finish work that I'm going to do on like the movable jaw and the base of the vise. Let me tell you my overall plan. So I wish I had thought about this earlier, but oh well, we will explain it as best as we can. So when I got this vise was a mess. It had been beat all to hell. I mean, you can still see some of the, might be able to see some of the damage. I mean, this is looks like normal vise damage now that you would find somebody had a hammer around it, but this thing had been drilled into, and it definitely had been beaten upon. You may, if you saw the Instagram post, that this part of this jaw had been clearly broken off. Someone had taken what happens is someone takes a hammer and hits straight down on it, and it just breaks the jaw. This is a light duty vise. This is not a heavy duty, like blacksmithing or metal working vise. This is just made to hold your work pieces. And I'm sorry, not on this jaw. It was on, what am I saying? It was this that got broken off. It was this one that got broken off. I repaired it with some epoxy. This whole part was broken off. This part, the little anvil part on the back here, was all kind of mushroomed out. So it was bent, curled over the sides. So we used a grinder and a flap disc to flatten it out. And it had a lot of, like, someone drilled into it. So it had some drill marks into it, everything. But this is meant to be here, folks. This is, there's like another little anvil piece that goes in here. So that's not it's a hole that somebody drilled. Um, it's pretty smooth and flat. You can see that it still has a few things in there, but or a few holes, but not nearly as bad as one. In fact, very nice on there. My goal was to try to not make this vise like super brand new. Like I mean, I wanted to make it look nice. It's going to sit on my shelf upstairs with all my other Ohio tools, but I wanted to try to keep as much character as possible, but um, repair as repair the violent damage to it. So what you don't see here on the back is that this had been the down here had been drilled into. There were several drilling holes in here. The vise had been drilled into, so we epoxied over those, sanded them smooth, and then you can't even really tell um, where it was drilled into. And if you can, it just might even look like regular damage. But I didn't remove all the damage or battle scars, as some people like to say. You can see it's got some battle scars right on there. So I wanted to keep some of his battle scars, and then part of what we're going to do is try to highlight those a little bit. So I'm trying to avoid, that sort of lipstick on a pig thing, where this thing is like looks the paint job is like $1 million, but it's so beat up that it kind of looks weird that you have all this stuff. So I'm just trying to avoid that. So keep some of the battle scars. We're gonna try to uh, give it a slightly vintaged and used look to it. It like make it look a little dirty, but not too dirty. And I've already did this to some of the parts. So on the vice jaw, you can see on the vice jaw that like in its on the vice jaw here that some of the you can see where I've left some of the damage, but it looks like it's kind of got like dirt down there, so that's wax. So the final things that we will do to this part over here is we're going to wax it. We'll put a clear coat of wax on there, and then we'll follow it up with a brown paste wax, and we'll work the brown paste wax into the to all the little divots and stuff and crevices and corners and stuff, and then we'll put some black furniture wax on there too and work that in there. So it'll try to hopefully give it that sort of still used look. So you can see that. I don't know if the color's going to come out on that or not, but in that big crevice and hole, the wax sits in there. So that's the goal. Make it look nice, but also make it look like it's been used and not like a pig with lipstick, as they sort of say. All right, that's soaked back in. So this we are going to try to make look pretty nice. The wooden base, we'll make that look real nice, or as nice as we can make it. All right, let's get the paste wax over here, and we may just do one coat of paste wax on it. There's my paint opener. It's over on the other side. All right, maybe we'll switch views here for a little bit. So you guys can see a little more of the studio, workshop. Transition that over there. Got to use my phone to do it. Boom, there we go. All right, looking good. We'll get a towel out for us here. Get a little paste wax. Folks, I'm going to walk over to the laptop. I'm going to adjust that screen down a little bit so you can actually see maybe the top of the workbench. There we go. And then, all right. Paste wax, just take it on your little cloth. You don't need a lot, and you just start rubbing it in there. And then we'll give it some time to dry, harden. Paste wax kind of hardens on there. And then we'll buff it out. It only needs about 10 or 15 minutes to harden. Probably not even, I don't know, I could probably look on the thing and actually see how long it needs. But that's what's nice. The paste wax hardens, cures pretty fast. Wax will help protect the wood from moisture. Along with the finish, we might do a coat of the brown wax too. I don't know. We'll see. My lathe work is a little sketchy. Well, so the grain of wood. I think when we are going, when the gets to the where it's going with the grain, it didn't come out as nice. I mean, it's not horrible. Though I did have one chunk that came out there. We might go over to the other camera. Look at it on the other camera. Okay, we got her on the top. Get some on the bottom. I left the bottom a little rough. But no one's gonna see the bottom except me, right? When it's sitting on the shelf. I wish I could say I was that craftsman who does everything to the 100% of awesome finishedness, but I'm just telling you, it's not me. It is what it is. Alright, so I'm going to switch cameras here. Let's see. Transition that over. So like here, this side came out really nicely on the lathe. Though you can see some of my cut marks where I did uneven cuts and everything. It's when we get over to where I think it's going with the grain of the wood. It might be easier if we do like we'll transition that into the groove where we're going with the grain. It just gets rough. And there might not be any way to get around that. I did sand it. That's just how it came out. The wax is going to help fill it in. Oh, look. Nice gouge right there. Wasn't paying attention. Nice gouge right there. But you know what I love about this piece? Nice little two-tone color there. So we got that nice dark walnut, and it comes into a nice light piece right there. So that's why I chose that part of the wood. All right, so we've got our clear paste wax on. It will give the wood a cloudy look for a little bit, and then after it dries, we will come back and buff it down with our cloth. Maybe I should just turn the camera like this in a more natural angle. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. So I'm going to set this off to the side. And all right, so next thing we'll do is we'll put our first coat of the paste wax on the base here, and we'll start once again with a regular clear coat of paste wax. This has been primed with a self-etching primer. Or I'm sorry, let me take that back. So once I took this down to the bare metal, I actually coated it with, or I spray coated it with 3 coats of spray shellac to seal it up. And then it got oh no, I didn't do that. I take that all back. That's a lie. Self-etching primer. Got it down to bare metal, bare iron, self-etching gray primer. Then we did the 3 coats of, no, I take that back. Oh my gosh. Did I not do this? No. All right. Self-etching primer. And then I did a coat of flat black enamel. Just 1 coat of flat black enamel. And that was to kind of bring down some of the... I used an International Harvester red, and it has a little bit of gloss and, I don't know the right word, specular highlights to it. So having a black primer brings it down a little bit, I think. Once we got that on, then I put on shellac. In the meantime, this part was covered in. Let's go over here, get it out of my painting drawer. I used some of this liquid latex. So I just wiped it on with a paintbrush over this part right here, the anvil part, and it dries in a minute or so. Anyways, that worked really good. Was very happy with it. Then we spray painted it with the International Harvester red. Once we got that on there, then we coated it with some shellac to help seal it and give it a little bit of a finish. And then I went back over with a clear matte coat to bring down the shine on it, avoiding that, lipstick on a pig thing. All right, my wax is probably drying, so let's get on to that. I just wanted to tell you guys about that a little bit. You don't have to do much. There ain't nothing fancy about the wax here, putting it on. We're just going to rub it on all over. The wax is going to bring back, once we buff it out, a little bit of the shine. It won't really be, if you're used to using like a polyurethane or even the shellac, that gives it a pretty big shine. The wax gives it more of a sheen rather than a shine. So it'll give it a nice sheen to it. But it won't look overly shiny or overly plastic. So the challenge on this one is it's got a lot of little nooks and crannies in it. Try to work it in there. Normally, if you were like doing this on woodworking, like waxing woodworking, you would use like a clear, don't really wait for it to dry, and then you start using your darker ones, because you can kind of blend in the darker. But I think on this, I found that I could let the clear dry and then come back with the dark. I can work the dark. Well, we'll talk about what I'm going to do with that. I could be wrong. I am not the master at these things. I'll tell you where I love using paste wax is on like hammer handles. They just give it such a nice smooth feel. I was trying to see if I had a hammer that had that I knew I paste wax. I don't know. I don't know if I have any on me. It's right in reach at the moment. All right, I think I got everything on the outside. I'm not going to worry about in here. No one's going to see it. Plus, we're going to lubricate that up once we start putting it together. All right, so like I said, I've already done this with that, with the wax and everything. This is, and the movable jaw itself. They're all set and done and ready to go. This one's looking a little dull. I'm just going to shine it up a little bit. Shine it back out. So we'll see how well it comes out. So this part looks a little dull. I mean, it's certainly, the light makes it look shiny and bright. To me, I can see a little dullness, but then if I buff it out, this is what you can do with the wax. You can buff it out. And it gives it that nice little sheen. Yeah, you can see a little more sheen on that. I think my bright lights in here to kind of distort the amount of sheen it gives it. Anyways, all right. This has probably had enough time. You know what? I'm gonna give you guys a different view. Change things up. Transition that over. There we go. Buff that out a little bit. No, I didn't give it as much of a sheen as I thought it was going to give. I thought it was going to darken up the wood. Probably should have used the hair dryer and melted the wax into it. Not the end of the world, folks. Just not what I thought it was going to do. You know, when you do something, you always just want it to pop and be like the best of the best of the best of the best. All right, I think we will switch cloths here. Get a new paper towel, and we will put some brown wax on there. Or dark. We're going to switch over to a dark finishing wax. Here, we'll zoom into that. So we're going to go with our dark paste wax. All right. So I'm using a piece of software that's called OBS Studio to do the streaming and stuff and to manage the cameras. This is not something new. OBS has been around for a while. First thing, but what's new to me is I'm using like a remote control for it on my camera, and it's just a little weird on like how you, well, not weird how you do the transitions. I guess it is. You have to like turn one camera on, one camera off, and then hit transition. Anyways, random conversation there. All right, put a second coat on here. So the brown I have found, like, or the dark paste wax, once again, it kind of gives it starts to give it an aged look. It gets into it highlights sort of the nooks and crannies of things. And I found that at times it can also, especially on wood, the darker woods, it can bring out the grain a little bit. You don't have to do the clear first. I think you can just apply oh yeah, for me, I can see that made a bit of a difference there. Really brought out the grain of the wood. Here, I'm going to switch over and see if we can see that together on another piece. All right, here we go. All right, so I haven't paste waxed that part yet. I hope the camera, I tell you, the cameras are all blown out by the light here. I'm gonna have to learn how to do lighting and stuff better. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can see a subtle change as we paste wax it. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. I can. But it darkens it up a little bit. All right. We'll keep going here. If you work in a garage, oh, I didn't transition over, or did I? Here we go. Uh, Listen, if you have a workshop in the garage and you find that your tools are always rusting, you can use a little clear paste wax. Get the rust off your tools and then coat them in a clear paste wax and just one coat and then give it 10-15 minutes to dry and then buff it out. And that will help protect your tools from rusting. Little something learned from watching Fireball Tools. If you guys ever get over to the Fireball Tool channel, Jason over at Fireball Tools, what he does is pretty cool. Stuff that he makes is pretty amazing. I don't think I'll ever be that skilled, but anyways, he did a whole episode of like set that aside of like experimenting with like what types of stuff will help keep your tools from rusting. He tried everything from like WD-40, which actually works fine or okay. He also used, and I think the winner, this was the winner. The winner, I think, was this. It's this SPS CRC SP 350. And the reason why it was winter, actually, it prevented corrosion. The paste wax and the paste wax in this had similar success at preventing corrosion. He chose the CRC as the winner just because you spray it on and you're pretty much done. Maybe like wipe it around with a cloth a little bit, whereas this, you have to put it on, wait for it to dry, buff it off a little bit. But that was the only difference. If you have this in the shop, you can use it in the shop. Otherwise, you can go buy a can of this. I also have found, and this is from suggestion from another guy I watched, Scout Crafter, that if you mix up a 50-50 mix of mineral oil and Vaseline, that it actually works pretty well as too for preventing rust. And I think it's better than say like, I don't know, some people are crazy and put motor oil on their tools. But here's the thing. It's not as gummy and dirt attracting as motor oil, and you kind of get like a best of both worlds sort of thing. Like the mineral oil helps thin out the Vaseline, so it's not like this gunky mess. It's nice and smooth. And it's mineral oil and Vaseline are meant to be put on the body. So it's not like you're putting a whole bunch of whatever, is in here on your body. So anyways, I have found that to be useful as well. A 50-50 mixture of mineral oil, so like the stuff that you put on your cutting boards to keep it, the moisture from coming in, and Vaseline works pretty good. The only time I have problems is in the winter when it gets cold in the garage and everything solidifies. So, all right, let's get back over to our other cam here. There we go. Okay, that's probably ready to buff off a little bit. We'll go ahead and buff that off. And this buffing will just give it a nice we'll just see it have a nice sheen to it. There's nothing going to happen yet much to it. All right. Okay, we'll go with our brown next, our dark. And the dark, we're just going to start working into all the rough spots and crevices on the vise. So we'll just start working it into, you know, all the rough spots in the vise to kind of bring out those features of the damage that was done to the vise. We're purposely trying to highlight it a little bit, that little vintage look. So we'll just start with our dark, essentially a little brown in there. So we worked it in there. And corners too, you can put it on the corners. Now, I'm not the master at aging. I'm actually just kind of like repeating like what I've heard like Adam Savage say. But you try to think about where like the dirt's gonna hide or get caught or get stuck, and that's where we'll try to apply stuff. We're even gonna apply it to the shiny anvil. It won't really take away the shine. It'll give it a slightly different color, but it will also highlight any little bumps and stuff on there. Wipe things off. I am going to take a Q-tip from over here and wipe out some extra wax down in there. Clean that out in there. Okay. Around the letters. Don't think I got this side yet, so we'll get this side. Get the pipe jaw vices down here. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. So when I mentioned the fireball tool, so my inspiration for the paint design or paint scheme for this that I did is following the. If you've never Googled the hardtail vise from Fireball Tools, Google that and look at that vise. That is an awesome vise. I totally have used that for inspiration / stealing that paint job. Wanted this vise to look like that. All right. There we go. All right. Set that aside. Well, you know what? I think we'll just go ahead and do black next. Just using, I think I got this at Lowe's. I don't know if it gives things an aged look. I had a different type of black furniture wax that I actually liked more a while ago. I do not remember what it was called. I thought it was called Jill's or something. This is fine. It's just different. It dries a lot faster. That Jill's takes like 24 hours to fully cure before you can like start doing stuff with it. I don't know if I'm that patient. It's just how I am. Finishing work is one, the most satisfying, two, frustrating part, I think, of some of this stuff. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna look up in the comments. Oh, no comments or questions yet. Surprise, surprise. By surprise, surprise, I mean not surprise, surprise. You know, now that I just thought about it, it might have been a good idea to post it. I was gonna go live on like Instagram. And, oh well, next time. Like I said, this was all last minute. I just wanted to see if I could do it, figure it out, get all the pieces and parts working. Hence, like I said, the high level of jank. I also apologize if the audio is I don't know. I'm using my earbuds. I have no idea how well it syncs up back with the computer there. I hope it's all nice and synced. I also think you can probably hear me breathing, so I apologize for that. We'll think about this a little more next time. All right. All right. I think I got black worked in there like I'm just patient enough to do. Okay. Set that off to the side. Let's check on our. Close these up. Boom. All right. We're making a mess. Having a good time in the shop. There we go. All right. Um, let's buff this thing out. Uh, I didn't say why I liked using wax on hammer handles. They make they just make the handles feel like buttery smooth. Uh, Pick up the handle, you're like, yeah, that's a feeling good, nice smooth handle. Ugh, that didn't come out like I thought it was gonna come out with. A little darker. I think next time, if I had to do this again, I'd read up on finishing walnut a little bit. I have a lot more experience working with pine and can predict how pine is going to behave a lot better than I can this. It's alright. It's not that it looks bad. Get a good angle on it. I think it looks pretty good. That'll look good up on the shelf. Put some pictures up on it on the shelf. Alright, now, set that to the side. That needs dry for a little bit. Transition cameras here, folks. All right, I think we're going to be in between a little here. We've got that set up and ready to go. We've got the wax curing up a little bit on that, and we'll buff it out. And then we're just going to assemble it. We will assemble it. We'll put some, we'll lubricate it up. I think I'll just use some whey oil, W-A-Y-L, not L, W-A-Y oil, whey oil, on the screw that's inside here. And I mean, maybe we'll also put some on the slide as well. And then we'll call, oh, and then we just got to put parts and pieces. Well, we got to do parts and pieces, obviously. So we have, well, what parts and pieces do we have? Let's take a look what we got to put together on our vise. So we have our swivel lock for our vise. That's going to go on our base on our vise right there. Our swivel lock. This piece was made by hand when I got the vise. The bar had been lost off, so I made a new swivel lock. I actually peened that like is striking over. I peened these together, except for this one. This one I didn't peen together. I smashed together. You can see the ends look different. Learning process, folks. It's a learning process. I think this, we're going to say that this end that looks a little bent gives it a nice authentic look. Very nice authentic look. Then we got the various bolt. This is this bolt is what the swivel goes on. We've got this jaw, which goes on to the main part of the vise, and it's two bolts. This goes through the bottom of here and just holds the top of the vise to the base and everything. And, I didn't look up what this is called, but like I said, this goes back into, um, I don't know if this is for helping to bend metal. Like, this thing was beat to hell, and I ground it back into shape. Um, anyways, God, yeah, this poor vise. So I bought this off the Facebook Marketplace, and I saw this thing, and like it was like I don't know how to describe it other than like love at first sight. Like it had been beat up so much that um, I went and I bought it from the guy from I don't know $35, and he was like super apologetic about how it was a piece of crap. I mean, it looks like a piece of crap. Um, but it certainly cleaned up really good. I love how this thing turned out. Um, all right, we'll stall for a little bit more. What else can I talk about? I'll throw that in the trash. Hey, we made it in the trash over there. All right. I'm working on finishing my video on our man. All my cameras are there, folks. I apologize for all the cameras and stuff. Um, like I said, level of jank is high tonight. I'm finishing up a video on our pressure tank. It's in there. I'm just waiting for a weekend where I'm going to be home and the family's going to be not here, and I can do the switch over. I'm traveling for work next week, so I didn't think it would be a good idea to attempt it this weekend and then be like, see ya, everybody. So hopefully we'll get that finished and get some steady water pressure in the house. Oh, you know what? So I'm always working on different tools. So, and I don't have a before picture of this, but I just finished this up last night. I didn't really do like a full restoration. Sometimes I just do little quick things. I like just doing a lot of things to practice, but I found this or last weekend, I was out with the flea market with a friend, and I found this Westcott wrench buried in the bottom of stuff, and it had some repair work on it, so you can see the brass brazing on it and everything. And this is just a rusty mess, but it actually, once I got it cleaned out, um, it turns and works real nice and smooth, easy one-finger operation. And then I just gun blued the handle and shined up the brass a little bit there. Not too crazy of shiny. If I have to stall for more time, maybe we'll pull out the flitz and we'll shine it some more with the flitz. But anyways, I got that done, and I'm going to put that up on the tool wall back here and put that into use. Uh, See how handy it is. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, last week also at the same flea market, I found a nice old vintage Malco, one of these leather handled hammers. So you can see like the little metal leather strips in there. Um, the strips were just kind of all dried out, so they were a little loose. But all we did was just put cleaned it with some leather cleaner. I put some mineral oil in there, and then we took some of that paste wax we just used. We put it on there, and we just heated it up with a heat gun and let it soak in. And now all the little stacked leather is nice and tight because they've expanded. And then we just ran this under the wire wheel just to get the rust off of it. I didn't try to get the dings and dents out of it. This is going in as an everyday use tool, so I didn't go crazy cleaning it up, but it's ready to go. Put back in the shop and ready for some work. All right, I'm impatient. I think we've let that sit long enough. I'm gonna wipe it down a little bit so you can see like it's got some of the black in the crevices or in the dings and dents there. So we'll just buff things out. We're gonna take some of the black and the brown out of there, just as we buff it out, and that's fine. We don't want it to look super dirty. We just want it to look a little used and like it's got a little grease in the nooks and crannies and everything. Once again, we're trying to avoid that lipstick on the pig look where everything is super shiny. It's going to have a sheen to it. That's fine. Get a nice sheen to it. I'm surprised no families come downstairs and ask me who I'm talking to. In my old job, I used to do little like YouTube videos, and I guess they could hear me from down here when I was doing my videos, so maybe they're just used to me yelling at videos and talking to myself. Who knows? All right. I'm calling that, once again, crappy camera exposure. And I don't know how well it's coming out. I can't really tell. I mean, it looks nice. You can see it's got that sheen to it. I hope you can see that it's got some of that sort of aged look to it as well. All right, we are ready for some assembly, I believe. And I think step number one is to put the vise body and the base together. So I'm going to switch views. Let's do that. Get some of this out of the way. We got to line up the, there we go, line up the swivel lock with where the swivel lock goes. It's got a little trough there, or I don't know the right word for it is. Carriageway, that's not it either. It's hard to think of words when you're on camera just talking to yourself. All right, that's in there. Oh, oh, oh. We're going to use the Westcott wrench. This thing's got an old square bolt on the bottom. I mean, the regular wrenches we're used to would work just fine, but get that Westcott wrench out. Tighten it down. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Okay. Base is on there. Love it. All right. Very good. Now, let's put our bolt for our swivel lock through. And let's get our swivel lock in place. Oh, look at that. Came right back out. And we'll swivel lock that in place. Here we go. Loosen it up. Swivels nicely. All right. Very good. Now, let's, while we're here, we'll stick the jaw on. The cleanest part of the jaw goes down on the lip of the vise there. Let's get these screws started, and we'll get a screwdriver. That does not feel like it wants to start, so we'll try that over here. Oh, that's right, because I accidentally got some epoxy in there. Let's see, we'll do a little spiral brush. No, I think we'll use the knockoff Dremel. That's over on this side of the bench. Yes, it's got the tip that I want on it. Yeah, I better just put on some safety goggles because it's going to use a little wire brush thing there. By the way, I'm bald, yes. There we go. Okay. Oh, I unplugged my bench. so I wouldn't trip over the wire while I was filming. Of course. Try that again. Probably should have used the paper knife. There we go. I can see some of the threads now. That back down there. It is trying to start. Let's check this side. Yeah, that side's going. Well, let's try. It's also not going in straight. Interesting. Well, let's try. Take off my goggles here. They fog up. We just need to be persistent about this. Oh, look, paint's coming off the screw heads. Authentic look. The authentic look. When you remove your paint accidentally. Oh, that's stripping. That's not going in right. Oh, man. Well, I was hoping this would be a nice, everything would fit back together video. So you didn't have to watch me struggle. But you might have to watch me struggle. That screw is thinner than that one. Let's try. Well, all right, and the one that had the epoxy is going in. It is definitely resisting a little bit. Okay, that's in, or mostly in. We'll get it tightened once we get the other one in. Oh, that started nice there. There we go. Oh, man. Yeah, that is definitely like crooked, though. I do not remember the screws being that damaged when I worked on them. I don't remember them ever fighting to come out either. What I'm trying to say is I don't remember them being particularly damaged, or I don't remember it being a chore to get them out. Interesting. Let's go back and try switching them around. I'll switch you guys around too, let you watch the struggle. Once again, that goes in pretty easily. Interesting. All right, I just discovered something. I bet that screw was damaged Anyway, all right, let me concentrate. All right. So, I didn't pay attention to this when I was working on the screw. I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually, come on, focus camera. It's actually bent. The screw is actually bent. Guess we'll put it back here. It is actually bent a little bit. Oh, I didn't. Did I not transition over? There we go. It is bent. So I wonder. So this was the side that was been. Usually it was chipped off. Usually from, like I said, a strong hammer blow. And I wonder if this was the screw that was on that side. So I wonder if it will fit. Well, it seems to be screwing in pretty easily over here. Like it was made to go in there. Okay, perfect. We'll take it. We won't even try to change it. I'm going to get this side tight. There we go. We got that jaw tight. Excellent. All right, next goes this little piece on the back of the anvil. We will get a soft mallet, knock that in place. This was just a press fit, so no need to epoxy or screw it in. I was just able to pry it out. There we go. That's in. All right, let's mount it to its base. And we want to make sure that, let's see, the jaw has to stick out. I have this set up so that it sits back on it, so the jaw it's not perfectly centered, is what I'm saying, on purpose. Are we going to turn it off? Just want to make sure. Yes, I think it goes like that because it's back this way and the jaw won't pull it off balance. All right, so now let's get our jaw in there. We'll put a little weight oil on the screw. Nope, I'm gonna have to do it this way to get it go in. Take a little weight off of that. There we go. Look at that, folks. One finger operation. That's how you know you got your vise working good, when you can just spin it around like that. Beauty. Beautiful. All right. It needs to go back like this. So many screwdrivers in the way. Okay. Now we just put our bolts in there. We got 3 bolts to put in. I don't think it matters which one goes where. Well, sorry, I'm arguing about. I can see the things dim on the screen there. Oh, what? That's what you get for using your cheap laptop cam. I was actually experimenting. So I do like some AV stuff for our church, and I know how to do some of this video streaming. And I was actually experimenting with like having a camera, not hooked to the computer, just connected on the network, and stream the camera to the computer. but there was some delay and stuff, and I didn't really want to mess with that. They're trying to figure it out. Would have been here all night doing that. So I decided to just do this. All right, we'll switch over. That's going to make me crazy. I'm sorry if it's been doing this the whole time, guys. Transition. Boop. That's the sound you have to make when you transition. Boop. All right. And let's put another screw in there. And a bolt. Come on, bolt. Go in there. I think I said this briefly. I'm not planning on using this vise in the shop. This one is purely going up into the Ohio Tools collection up on the shelf upstairs. So at times if you're wondering like choices on why I even finished it like I did, or why I'm mounting it on a circular base that doesn't have any place to like clamp to a tabletop, this one is just going into the collection. Tools of Ohio, a Simplex Utility number 350 vise made out in Urbana, Ohio. DJ'd out there. Right, last one. Let me loosen things back up a little bit. Never tighten everything all the way down until you're done. If we need to, we can take this jaw back out a little bit. Coming into the home stretch, folks. I mean, this is it. Get this tightened in there. I think we need to get the jaw fully out of the way. That'll make this a lot easier. I'm not going to put any oil or lubrication on the slide here. It's covered in 3 coats of shellac. I mean, you can. Once again, so I mean, it is protected from. It's got some rust protection, and once again, we are not trying to. This is not a shop vise. This is just going to be a show vise. Well, this is going to be a shelf vise, not a show vise. I'm not going to travel the country showing off my vise. That would be weird. Now that I've said that out loud, though, I'm starting to get ideas. Oh, come on, hex wrench. Okay, those are nice and tight. Put the slide back in. So you see me kind of pulling up on it. It's just the weight of the slide pulls down, and it's putting the screw in at an angle. So I'm just getting it. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with the dishwasher vise. That is going on the shelf. Simplex Utility Vise number 3. I think it's a 350. I should know these things beforehand. Like I said, made by the. Oh, you know what? I didn't get some of the stuff out of the lettering. A little too much wax in the lettering. Make sure it's okay on that side. Made by, was it this Desmond and Stephen Company? out of Urbana, Ohio. Tools of Ohio, folks. There we go. Listen, I need to give a big shout out to. All right, transition. So we're actually like, you know what? I'm just going to turn this camera up. There you guys can see my arms. There we go. Is that well? No, I'm just going to sit down, look at the camera. Hey, folks. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. All right, webcam. We'll go over here. Turn the laptop cam on. Figure this out, folks. There we go. Simplex Utility Vise. I gotta say a big thank you to my collaborator, the Dishwasher. Thank you for seriously. Thank you for all your help, Dishwasher. And folks, thanks for. It doesn't look like anyone joined me, but that's okay. Well, nothing's come into the chat. I don't have the YouTube window open. For those who have watched my other videos, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed them. After we get done with our pressure tank, we're going to get on to some new things. Maybe not tool related, but some restoration stuff that I have planned, and hopefully we'll have fun. So, hey, you know what? I'm going to come up close here. I'm going to say, folks, here, we'll get a little light on me. Will that help? Yeah, that's horrible light. Hey, thanks for stopping in and working on the vise with me. It was nice. It's nice to have you helping me out and everything. Uh, this is a fun project. I love this one. Um, I love vices. All right, I could go on forever. So I'm gonna say, folks, thanks for watching. Be watching for the next video. Um, hopefully the next time we'll do something live. We'll bring down the jank slightly. We'll figure these things out, and yeah, we'll have a good time. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Let's see if I can figure out how to stop all this streaming. And yeah, okay. Sorry, looking at a window there. And stop streaming.